I heard the smart doorbell at 3:17 a.m. The voice outside wasn't mine. I'm not jealous of doors, I'm jealous of who makes them ring. Our smart doorbell, the one Sam calls the guard with batteries, doesn't spook at wind anymore and knows the faces of 3 different couriers who all pretend to be named Dan. At 3:17 a.m. it forgot we were trying to sleep and remembered it was a historian. Full screen alert. Motion detected entry. I tapped, because tapping is how you tell the night you accept its terms. The clip was 8 seconds long, which is how long a lie can hold its breath. The lens caught the brass strike plate, that rubber weather strip we keep swearing we'll replace, the pattern on the doormat that thinks it's a map. Then a shoulder cut diagonally across the frame, a blur that wanted to be anonymous and failed. You couldn't see a face. You could hear a voice, low and close, not quite in the picture. "You ready?" it said. It wasn't me. I watched it twice because that's the law of small harm. Once to be hit, once to be sure. The second time I noticed a hand touch the edge of the frame, the fingers long, a ring catching light with an authority I didn't recognize. The clip ended there, as if the camera had a sense of mercy we didn't. Sam had texted at 11:50 p.m. "Studio late, might crash here." He often does. He says the couch in the vocal booth is the only furniture that doesn't require a thesis. I set the phone face down and stared at the ceiling like it owed me rent. I didn't go out. I didn't become a detective in socks. I boiled water, which is my religion when I can't find faith, and tried to remember every good thing about mornings to see if they could arrive early. At 7:05, the kettle did what kettles do. I poured 2 mugs and left the doorbell thumbnail open on the counter like a newspaper you know will try to ruin breakfast. Sam came in with studio hair and the hoodie that makes him look like an apology in progress. "You're up," he said, which is a terrible observation disguised as care. "The door thinks it's a poet," I said. I turned the screen so he could see. He watched the clip, his eyes scanning the edges for an edit. He said, "Ah," which is his way of buying 3 seconds. "Andrea needed his bike pump," he said. "He left it here last week. He texted, I came down. The doorbell lives to narrate." He picked up his mug. "It was nothing." "Nothing leaves fingerprints," I said, and immediately wished I'd brought a better sentence to breakfast. I texted Matt at noon because I trust him with the ugly floorboards under my better self. "Table," he said, 12:40, and one question only, which is not advice but a leash. At the cafe, I slid my phone across the wood like a photo of a kid I wasn't sure how to brag about. Matt watched the clip, listened once more with his head tilted toward the speaker as if a different angle could change the facts. "What you know," a voice said, "you ready. What you don't, why. What you want, to stay a person, not a guard. Ask why, not who. And when you get home, move a chair." He means it literally. He believes the body needs an action for the brain to believe the tone changed. On the fridge at home, we keep our rules under a rubber orange that pretends to be a magnet. I wrote, "What happens out there passes through this table first." Sam came in with his hands up in the way you do when you're innocent and exhausted. He put his palms flat on the table like the therapist taught us. "Which question?" he asked. "Why the door at 3:17? I said. "Because I felt small," he said. He looked at the window as if light could notarize. "Because the part wasn't coming. Because Andrea sent 2 texts that were dumb and kind, you breathing. And then pump. And I thought I could buy 5 minutes of air with a staircase. I didn't think about the hour. I didn't think about the door with its little degree in truth. I didn't think, period." "And now?" I asked. "Now I want to think with you, not about you," he said. We added 3 lines to the fridge. "No going down after 11 without a heads up. If restlessness calls, we walk it together. If one of us feels more broken than brave, we stop the scene." Sam added one more I wish I'd thought of. The doorbell is not a judge, it's a reminder. For a few days, the world kept its promises. I turned in a cut that didn't make the director hate himself. Sam turned a bridge into a road. We ate at human hours. The doorbell saw only couriers and the deli guy with the remarkable eyebrows. Then Tuesday did what Tuesdays do. At 11:48 p.m., my phone blinked and the doorbell helpfully named our visitor, Andrea. We trained it to recognize faces. Some devices are too proud of their tricks. I texted, "Want me to buzz him up?" Sam wrote back, "I'm coming up now, don't let him in alone." I stood behind the peephole like a doorman who doesn't trust his salary. When Sam came up, Andrea was already in the hallway making the palms visible gesture of a man who knows it helps. "Pump," he said. "Thanks." He glanced at me. "Sorry if I'm becoming a notification." "Devices learn fast," I said. "We don't always." He nodded. He left. Sam leaned his forehead against the door like he was asking the wood to say something nice. "I want to make peace with this place," I said. "With the door, I mean. Otherwise, every beep becomes a trial." On Saturday, we performed the ritual of making a ghost boring. At 3 p.m., when hallways have the day off, we went down and held the doorbell for 3 seconds to make it sing its test tone, 2 little digital notes that mean nothing. I showed Sam the clip again, standing next to me instead of across a table. "It's just a sound," I said. "The rest is what we put on it." He touched the wall and said, "Bring me here when I'm running, not after." Then came the email that pretends to be an opportunity and sometimes is. Writing residency, 7 days, good light, quiet rooms. Sam forwarded the whole thing with every attachment visible, which is how you forward your courage. "I want to go without disappearing," he wrote. "I'll send pages, not alibis. When I get back, please ask, what did you write before what did you do?" I said yes, and we taped 2 short lines under the orange. "Addresses in the open. A good night here voice note each day." He sent an inventory of weathers. "Today the room forgave me. Today I kept the page company. Today I don't know anything and I'm here." I sent back pictures of the table, the fridge, the orange that never lets go, like proof that gravity still exists where it should. In the middle of his week, the doorbell offered another opinion. Motion detected entry. At 12:09 a.m. the clip was black, then the edge of a shoe. I did not call the night a liar. I did not call Sam. I moved the kitchen chair to the middle of the floor like the therapist told us, because bodies can be persuaded, even when minds have hired lawyers. When Sam came home 2 days later, he saw the chair and grinned, not because it was funny, but because it meant the room had done half the work. We moved the chair twice to bracket a sentence that had threatened to sharpen. "I almost recorded I can't," he said. "I stopped because I didn't want to send it to you and have it be true." We added one more rule. If an "I can't" is going to exist, it does not travel alone. We went downstairs once more with a peace offering. A screwdriver for the loose strike plate, weather strip glue, the small work you can do with hands when your head needs a task. We fixed what we could fix so the door would stop making metaphors out of itself. The doorbell took a clip of us kissing by accident, misreading repair as romance. I saved it anyway, because I am allowed to keep some evidence. Sam came back from the mountains with a face that had remembered its instructions. He put 2 pages on the table and watched them the way you watch a sleeping child, hopeful and rude. "They're not good," he said. "They're mine," I said, and he said, "Then they'll get better." I still have nights where I almost become the man who refreshes a feed until the feed becomes his life. I still have mornings where I find old shapes in pockets and wonder which past I cheated on by choosing this one. But I am trying not to ask the doorbell to write our story. It is a good reporter and a terrible novelist. Last night I scrolled through old clips because the brain is a teenager whose favorite sport is touching a bruise. I watched the 8 seconds again and noticed something I hadn't. At the start, before the shoulder enters, You can hear our hall's particular hum, the fluorescent light with the failing ballast, the radiator's polite attempt at being a river. Home was on the tape the whole time. I just didn't know which part to listen for. At 7:05 this morning, I filmed the coffee rising because ritual is cheaper than religion and works better for me. I typed here in the caption. Sam slid his hand into the frame, palm against mine without touching, a lid that doesn't pretend to seal. Here, he said. If a future night offers me another violent mercy in 8 seconds, a stranger's laugh in the middle of our air, a dot crossing a map toward a door that isn't ours, I hope I remember the handful of useful, humiliating acts. Put water on, move the chair, ask why before who. Wait for the key in the lock like it's the first note in a song you still want to learn. Let the devices keep their nouns. We'll keep being the address.